what I learned from Miss Frizzle and the Magic School Bus. So as some of you might know or may not know, I'm one of the youngest people, it seems like, in the program. I don't turn 23 until August. So lately I was kind of thinking, okay, what have I learned in this year? And I'm going to be 22 and have my master's and have to go into the real world. When in reality, I just want to go back to being a kid and watch all these TV shows that I used to love. The Rugrats, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, some Rescue Rangers. And so, you know, on some days when I'm bored, I might sit down and throw on the TV and see if I can watch some of these shows. And now I've realized I'm picking up on things that I might not have realized when I watched it when I was 4 or 5. So, like Wendy and Peter Pan, I don't want to grow up. So I go on Netflix and I throw on the Magic School Bus, and instantly I was like, oh my goodness, I still love this show. I don't care if I'm 22, it is awesome. And Miss Frizzle takes her class on all these field trips to all these different places, and I was picking up on things, yet again, that I hadn't realized when I was younger. So if you haven't seen the Magic School Bus, it's Miss Frizzle and her class, her pet iguana named Liz, and the Magic School Bus. So she takes them on field trips. They've gone through Arnold's digestive system, they've gone in outer space to learn about all the planets and the stars. She takes them wherever she thinks would be best for them to learn. And her saying that she says in every episode is take chances, make mistakes, get messy. And obviously, as I'm sitting there watching Netflix, I was like, Miss Frizzle, you just explained my whole year in my master's program. Thank you. So her first part, obviously, is the, taking chances and stepping out and branching out and trying new things and figuring out, okay, I've done this for so long, it's time for me to figure out what else I can do and, try to figure out where I want to go from here and what, next steps I need to take or what steps I want to take. So obviously, some of you might know, some of you might not. My background's at Bridgewater State University, and I spent 3 years doing res life, and I also spent 3 years working closely with my sorority and also Greek life as a whole. So when it came to picking my fellowship for this year, I went, hey, intramurals and rec sounds cool. Number 1, check, which wasn't what I had planned when I first applied to the program. So that was me stepping out of the box. I was trying something new. I was breaking away from what I had spent my whole undergrad career doing, because in this 1-year program, why not take a year to figure something out, try something new. And it definitely, I've learned a lot from just being able to say, hey, I took that chance and I stepped out of the box. So even though I was working with recreation, our lovely ends over here, and I still got a chance to work with Res Life. I just helped with affinity housing placements, and I still worked with Colin and worked with Greek Life and helped them with Greek Week. So even though I did step out of the box, I was still able to take those chances and work with the other organizations as well. But in the process, I made a lot of mistakes, and I mean a lot, but everyone does that, and that's fine. And I've learned from those. So in my year of trying to try something new, I had a lot of questions, and sometimes I would hold those questions in. I wouldn't necessarily, walk down the office to my supervisor's, office and say, hey, I don't know how to use this. Can you show me one more time, or for the 5th time, how I change that again, because I didn't write it down. So I started writing things down as soon as they were told to me and started going over them in my head, which is our lovely Intramurals website. I still make mistakes on it all the time. Pretty sure I deleted the sports for next Monday, when in reality they're still happening, so I had to add them back in. But it's fine, because this website is confusing. But even though I make mistakes, now that I know the website a little bit better, I'm able to backtrack myself and figure out where I made those mistakes. This is our only rec trip. It's a proud and not so good moment. Our only rec trip that didn't have any students sign up for it, but because students can go bowling whenever they want. And I obviously learned from that and created other rec trips like Sky Zone and our indoor rock climbing, so students aren't, able to do those. In the process, it got a little messy. There was ups and downs. There was trying to figure out, okay, well, we want to do this on this weekend, but something else is going on, and how am I supposed to do intramurals, rec trips, and work part-time, and to do coursework? And it was just kind of trying to all figure it out. So in that process, there might have been not physical yelling, but, conflict. I've learned this year what style office I like to work in and how to kind of work around other people's personality types that might not match up with mine, and kind of figure out, okay, how can we come together and work if your work style is one way and my work style is another way. So in the process of doing that, I kind of figured out, you know, okay, what time do I need to get these projects done? What time do I need to work with Derek on doing this project? What time do I need for homework? And working part-time on the weekends, I kind of developed my time management skills a little bit better. Even though there were days, like Arnold, where I say to myself, I knew I should have just stayed home today, forgot to do the reading for class, or I read for the wrong week, or, you know, I need to print out this assignment and I still have to edit it. Once I get to campus and one of my students come over and they're like, Mel, this happened, I got this A on this test I was nervous about. Then I realized, okay, this is why I'm here. And I started my own journal. I keep it at home, just kind of whenever I need that time to myself and I need to decompose so that when I do step on campus, I am ready for my students and I'm not hounding myself on my own personal problems. I pull out my journal and I write in it and I jot things down that I like and I jot things down that I don't like. So, wrapping it all back up to Miss Frizzle, I realized watching it a couple weeks ago that Miss Frizzle is kind of who I want to be. She challenges her students by bringing them on wacky field trips, but she supports them as they learn about, you know, taking flight and being in a pickle and learning about stars. And I kind of want to do that for my students. So, obviously, on a chalkboard, thank you. It's kind of thank you for whoever created Magic School Bus, because Miss Frizzle kind of just made me realize that I want to be Miss Frizzle, but not for elementary school students. I don't want a pet iguana, but for higher ed students in a college. And that is it.